Want to give a couple of thank yous before we begin. I want to thank 1035, the agency, for putting this together. They done a fantastic job. I mean, let's be honest, Harper, we are going to be talking about, cycle breakers, what it is, what it means to the city of Chicago. But, it is a labor of love, right? Something that's taken such a long time. A lot of hands have touched this. A lot of hands have touched this project. And I'm not talking about just the people that are responsible for it. I'm also talking about, we got the sound guys over here. Make some noise. We got the photo booth. We got the food, security guards, the DJs, volunteers. I mean, as we know, and again, as we're going to talk about, Harper, it takes a community to do things like this and to put this together. Don't you agree?
It definitely does. And there were a lot of people. And if I'm correct, this one project, or this isn't one project, this is actually a step plan, and this part of the plan actually took 2 years to complete. So for those 2 years, and those people who went through that for those 2 years, let's get another round of applause.
It's good to know that we're worth it, right, Chicago, that we are worth it. Harper and I, both city kids, just, growing up here, trying to be a mirror of what the community is. And so we're going to learn a lot about it. Harper's going to be doing an interactive panel with some young people in just a second. But we are going to kick this off with someone that's going to tell you guys a little bit about what's happening here today and what's going to be happening in the future. I'd love you guys to give a big round of applause. She's the commissioner of the Chicago Department of Public Health. Give it up for Dr. Ige. Woo!
Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Good evening. Can you just pause for a second and just look around you? Look around you and just for a moment, just capture this moment. This is what cycle breaking means. Good people, good food, music, the buzz. Can you feel the energy in the air? Yes. So everything that I'm going to say to you today, just think about this vibe. This vibe that we've created in here, nice, beautiful spaces, hanging out with people who you like, who like you, where you feel safe, where you feel relaxed at home. That is what we are about. And that's the vibe we've been trying to create over the last 2 years. I don't know about you, but I don't like speeches. So some people worked very hard helping me to write this speech, and I'm grateful to them, and I say thank you. But they know I never stay on script, and that is because I like to talk to people. I like people to feel me, I like to feel them, and when I got into this space, I was just feeling the energy, and it reminds me of when I was young. I mean, when you look at me, I'm still young, right? But I have an experience of when I was young, and I knew that when I was young, I didn't like speeches. So today I want to tell you 2 stories. Many, many years ago, I was a resident doctor that I was training to be a doctor in my specialty, and there was a woman who was part of the janitorial staff, and she was, telling me a story about her family. She had 6 daughters, and she said she's just so sad because all of her daughters got pregnant while they were teenagers, and, it's just been such a struggle for her, making sure that they have everything they need and just navigating through life as single parents has just been hard. And 5 of those daughters have had a similar experience. And now she had her last daughter, and she's so worried because now this daughter is 15, and she's just desperate to make sure that she can have a future. And as we were talking, I was like, the community and the spaces where she's in, maybe that needs to change, and maybe she can come hang out with me and live with me in my different part of town for a while, and she can go to school from there because, you go to school in your neighborhood, and maybe going to a different school will be helpful for her, and, she can just stay with me so she can go to a better school. And so she came and stayed with me for a while, and it was so hard for her. It was so hard for her. Why do you think that is? Any ideas for why it was very hard for her to come live in this different community? Yes, anybody saying anything? Transition? Yes. Think about it. Someone uproots you from a community and puts you somewhere else. You don't have friends, you don't have community. It's not things that you're used to. So it was very hard for her. She didn't like it, and she eventually went back, to her community. And, things went the same way as her sisters. And after a year, I think she got pregnant also. And the mother was just very disappointed. Now, how many people know the story of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Yes. Very similar scenario. Boy doing boy things, getting into trouble, fighting, and all of that. And what was the solution? He said, you are going to go live with your aunt in Bel-Air, right? The very same playbook of the way to solve problem is take people from their community and plop them somewhere else, right? But those transitions are hard. I mean, it was a hard transition for him as well. So instead of uprooting people from their communities, uprooting them from the places where they feel at home, from the places where you have friends and you have vibes and all of those things, what if we break the cycle by creating supportive environments where people are in their own communities, where they feel at home, they know where the food is at, they know where their friends are, where they're comfortable. That is what we want to do, and that's what we've been trying to figure out how to do over the last 2 years. And in that process, I wasn't here when all of this started, but I told you how I have experience being a young person. I also have experience being a parent. And I know that parents love to give advice. They love to tell kids what to do, right? My son is in here somewhere. We love to tell our children what to do. We love to tell our words what to do. What we don't understand is that I'm seeing a lot of young people in this room. How many people like being told what to do? You like people to tell you, why are you there? Why are you not doing this? And you should do this and you should do that. Raise up your hand if you like it. I will know you're not an American. Let me see. Raise up your hand. Nobody likes being told what to do. Nobody likes being told what to do. We're Americans. We just don't like being told what to do. So young people particularly don't like being told what to do. So what did we do? We said, okay, let's ask young people what young people like, right? Instead of us cooking up these things in our head and saying this is what you need to do, and instead of us trying to transition people from their communities to other communities, let's ask young people what they want and what they think cycle breaking means. And I'm standing in front of that artwork there, and that's what you have envisioned about what cycle breaking means. Peace, stopping the violence, creating spaces where young people can be young people, where you can have relationships and you're not afraid. So that's what we've been doing. I'm breaking this down. We use words like we're creating resources, we're all those things that are in speeches, but literally this is what we're trying to do. Trying to create spaces where young people can be young people, where young people can invest their time the way they want to invest their time and how they want to invest their time. So we are celebrating today an opportunity for young people to invest in themselves, how they want to invest in themselves, so that we can stop this cycle of violence. Not by transitioning people from their community or moving them from their community, or just the adults saying this is what you need to do, but young people saying this is how I want to express myself in my community and hang out with other young people. So this is how I want you to see this. Investing your time in yourself, not because someone is telling you this is the right thing to do, but because this is the vibe you want around you. This vibe of safety, this vibe of I'm at home, this vibe of I have friends around me. And that is what cycle breakers mean. There are community resources, there are organizations that are youth-focused, there are places where you can find friendship and support, where adults can be there and wrapping their arms around you. That is what cycle breakers mean. And I'm going to end this just to elevate a little how important this is to all of us. I am a commissioner in the Chicago. In this city, there are almost 3 million people. This city has been voted the best city, best big city in the world for 8 years running. How many people know that? This is a great city to be in. This is a great time to be living and to be growing up. There are so many things that we have going for us. When I was young, TV was maybe, now we have so much information, so much resources, so many things, and yet some people just don't know how to navigate. So we want information to be available to you so you can make choices, and parents can make choices, and teachers can make choices, and young people can make choices. So on this website, in this app, you can find information. In this great city, there are so many resources that are available, and we want you to be able to find them. This last weekend was very tough. It was the 4th of July weekend. And a lot went down. A lot of scary stuff went down this weekend. I know people personally who were impacted by some of the shootings this weekend. Too many people are suffering because we haven't figured out a way to live with each other in peace. Because we feel like when someone steps on my toe, they have to die for it. Because we feel like in this world, when conflict arises, there is only one way to resolve those conflicts. What if we can explore other ways of being? If we can live together in harmony? What if, you look around, the world is so unequal, the world is so unfair, there are so many things that are happening in the world that shouldn't be happening. And when you start to feel that anger bubbling up, you can go to your phone on this Cycle Breakers app and say, let me look for something in my neighborhood where I can spend some time and deal with some of these feelings that you have. This is what Cycle Breaker offers. If you're out there saying, my parents are struggling, we can't put food on the table, I am looking around, there are these buildings with all these grandiose things, and yet I don't have the basic things that I need. How is that fair? And you don't know how to process these feelings, and there's the trauma and all of the layers and layers of things that young people are dealing with these days that we don't even know about. You can go into this app and say, what are the resources around me in my neighborhood? And where can I go to just hang out with some other people and figure this thing out? If you're a parent in the room and you're thinking, my kid is just acting out, fighting with everybody, not getting along with people, I don't know what to do, you can go to this website and say, I want to break this cycle, and I don't want to lose my child. I don't want to transport my child to another community. I want to look for what is available around me. And you look on the website and say, I live in this community, what's available? You will find that information there. And I want everyone in this room to know that help is available, support is available, space is available, time is available, love and care is available. For those who feel like nobody cares about me, we do. We have spent 2 years curating these resources so that every young person, every parent, every caregiver in the city of Chicago, this greatest city in the world, can get the support and the information that they need. So today, as you mingle and as you hang out, I want you to take this information and get it to everyone you care about, everyone you love, everyone you think who might be able to use this information, that help is available, love is available, care is available. There is a community out there looking out for you, looking out for your community to make sure that you are safe, you are loved, you are protected, you are supported, and that you can thrive. My hope, and as I end this non-speech, is that I can look back and say, I remember that day when we were at the Cultural Center talking about cycle breakers, and that some of the folks in that room ended up being commissioners, and some of them ended up being doctors, and some of them ended up being the mayor, and some of them ended up being all the good stuff that you want to be. And we want you to be able to do that and be anything you want to be in the city, not somewhere else, in your neighborhood, not somewhere else, right where you are, that you have everything you need to succeed. So enjoy, have fun, eat the food, dance. You know, this vibe is how we want your entire summer experience to be, and your entire experience of being a young person to be. Thank you very much for your support, for your collaboration. We are Cycle Breakers. Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody, if you love Chicago, let me hear you say yeah. One more time. If you love Chicago, let me hear you say yeah. All right, we got a lot of the young people quiet, and that's okay. But you heard how loud the people were that were behind that, right? Because they do love Chicago, and they're continuing to do stuff like this. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we are your hosts for this evening. I am Gabe Ramirez, Fox 32, 670 The Score, Lane Tech, Chicago Public School kid. I knew somebody was going to boo. You hater. I knew you were out there.
We got any Lane Tech alumni? Raise your hand. Woo! You got one more. The other one, raise your hand.
She loves Chicago.
We got one more.
But I'm not the only CPS kid here. My co-host Harper Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the best dressed man in the building.
Hello. My name is Harper Anthony. I'm 11 years old. I'm a model, actor, entrepreneur. I go to a CPS school. I used to go to Robert A. Black Magnet School. Now I just transferred to Lindblom Math and Science Academy. Anybody go there? Anybody go there? Yeah. I just transferred there, and I hope I have a great year. Today we're here. We're going to be talking about cycle breakers, and I see a lot of young people in here, so you guys are going to have a great time. I'm going to have a great time, and we're all going to have a great time.
Of course we are. Of course we are. And the cool thing about cycle breakers is this, right? You heard Dr. Ige say it. We as Chicagoans, we hear it all the time, right? So much violence. How do we stop it? It's the question that is continuously asked. People ask me all the time when I leave Chicago, damn, what's going on over there? What are you guys doing about it? They say it as if we're standing idle, as if we're not doing work, as if people here don't care about the city. But the fact of the matter is, cycle breakers in itself, in the name and what it's trying to do, is trying to be just that, the answer, the solution. Because a lot of times, Harper, we get it a lot when we're in school. What do you want to be when you grow up, right? People ask that all the time. And you give the regular answer, a doctor, a lawyer. Fireman. But what I learned a lot, and when I talk to kids and students, is that there's a big component that's missing, and it's the how, right? You can sit up there and be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then they leave you. That's great. You want to be a fireman? That's awesome. But they don't give you the how. And I think that's the beauty of cycle breakers, right? We've all dealt with certain things, but to understand the pillars, right? Because that's what they came up with. We know the 6. Conflict resolution, restorative practices, culture wellness, which is beautiful, mentoring, mental health, crisis intervention. These aren't keywords, ladies and gentlemen. These are words and ideas that were brought up by the young people that are in this room right now, and that is what makes it so beautiful. Big round of applause for the young people that have been doing their thing.
And all of those words that were mentioned are some of the things that the cycle breakers like to focus on. So that's something I want to give another big thing to. Well, we're gonna have
you moderating a panel with the mayor of the city of Chicago, which is gonna be huge. You nervous? Are you feeling nervous or are you good?
I mean, a little bit. I'm a small person, in height and all up here.
You got a big personality, Harper. That's what we do know, and that's what we like you up here. Yeah. Being a part of it, because I look at you, right, and I think about what Cycle Breakers means to me, right? Not the organization, right? Not the events that are going to be happening throughout the city, but actually, breaking a cycle. And in my own personal life, right, my father left my house when he was 3 years old, hooked on drugs. uncle locked up his whole time, right? We all have these stories. We get tired of hearing them, right? But we also know that there are people on the other side of it. People that raise above those things in order to get things done. And that is the true definition of a cycle breaker. Now, we got some videos that we want to play for you guys. I want to take a few minutes just to show some of the great work that has been done through cycle breakers. There are two videos that we're going to be playing. One is called Middle Ground. One is called Peace is Contagious, right?
And all of those videos, I believe, were almost all of the actors in this are all youth. And if anybody in here was in it, can you stand up? Was in the short film? Anybody?
Don't be shy. We're going to be looking for an autograph after the videos.
I sure will.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first one right here for
you guys. When you choose to lead with your heart, the world will follow. Together, we can make peace contagious. Support youth in building conflict resolution skills, accessing opportunities, and connecting with mentors and supported networks to become cycle breakers. Become a cycle breaker at chicago.gov/cyclebreakers.
All right, big round of applause. That's not easy to put together. It's hard.
That was actually
to get it done in a quick one. All right, so this was called Middle Ground. It's just a small piece on conflict resolution. Again, another entity that we're putting together for cycle breakers as a component that people can see what we're doing in the city.
Breaking cycles of violence starts with breaking down walls, barriers, and behaviors that hold back our future. Learn how to resolve conflicts and repair relationships with access to mentors, support networks, and opportunities to become a cycle breaker today. Become a cycle breaker at chicago.gov/cyclebreakers.
Now that's a good one right there. Now the reason that one's so powerful, before we get to the panel, a lot of times we're in those situations as young people, right? Where it's like, something's happening over there, you know it's not the right thing, but you don't want to say anything. Why? Harper, why? Because it's lame.
Or we might get in trouble and our parents might find out.
Something like that. But you see how they came to a common ground, right? It takes a bigger person to do things like that. And we are actually going to have some of those people, the bigger youth members of Chicago up on this panel right now, about to do something. Harper's going to take over and do the hard part. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your host, Harper Anthony.
Thank you. So right now we're gonna start the panel. Can I get the name list? I don't want to be on stage looking slow. Please don't tell me I look slow. I don't look slow, right?
No, not at all.
Okay. Here we go. Here are all our panelists. So we have Sean Austin. Is he here? Can I have you come up on stage? Sean Austin. Okay. Journey. Okay, so this person is one of my friends. Can we have Journey come up on stage and take her seat? You can pick any of the seats you want. Next person, we're gonna have Jeremy. Is any Mr. Jeremy in here? Whoa. Next, we're gonna have, I met her on the Zoom call yesterday, and from what I heard, she seems really, really nice. Can we get Miss Genevieve on stage? I hope I pronounced it correctly. I pronounced it correctly? Yes. Okay, glad I pronounced it. Then, Jimmy, I don't know. I'm sad. Sorry. I don't know how to pronounce this name.
I got you. Turn my mic on. I got you.
Anybody?
Azucena.
Azucena, yes. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to pronounce that.
We're a team, Harper. We're a team.
Up.
I got you.
Thank you very much. I have no idea where you just went. All right. And one of the biggest people that is going to be in the house tonight, his last name starts with a J. First name ends with a B. Mayor Brandon Johnson. Thank you very much.
All right, this how we start, huh? Just like that. Yep. Hey, listen, what's up, Chicago? How y'all doing? Y'all get up for my man. Like, he dressing like he want to be the 58th mayor of Chicago.
That's the plan.
That's the goal?
Actually, that's the goal.
Yes, that's what's up. Well, I'm really excited about tonight. All the work that we have to do collectively to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. The best way to do that is through the lens and the experiences of young people. And it's a little loud in here, isn't it? Can you all quiet down a little bit? Shh.
Can we get some quiet in the food area, please?
Thank you. Can y'all help us out over there? Thank you. I appreciate it. This is an important conversation. You know, this panel, is designed to really have real conversations about how we, break the cycles of violence. And I know this room is committed to seeing that happen. So let's just start to my immediate left, okay? And my first question is, what do young people need from the city to stop this cycle of violence? And what support do you need specifically from adults to break these cycles? So what are the needs? And to be even more specific, what are the needs from adults specifically? And say your name, and the microphone is probably already on. It's on.
It's all on.
The mic's on? How y'all doing, everybody? My name's Jeremy, and what I have to say about that is just when it comes to violence, people think that's the first move to make when a conflict happens, and I just want to say that's not the way at all. Adults need to take responsibility and accountability of knowing that a situation that's going on and how to solve it and fix it, knowing that little children will not have the mindset or mentality to try to work something out. So I would say adults need more accountability of just taking responsibility, take action. And kids, to break the cycle of violence, we just need to think before we act. That's what my mom always used to say, just think before you act. Every action has a consequence.
Oh, y'all showed the brother some love there. Thank you for that. Let's stay with that question. Is that okay? And just repeat the same question. You have such an amazing smile. Say your name and the cycle of violence. How do we break it? And what do you need specifically from adults?
All right. Hi, I'm Journey. I think a way to break the cycle of violence is it all starts at home to me. I just see me growing up, seeing a lot of parents yelling at their kids for doing little small things, and things like that travel to other people. And I just feel it all, that anger, the way they manage things, all comes from the home. And sometimes it comes from other people too. I just feel the only way for kids to change and for our next generation to also have better attitudes is for us to be taught that.
Yeah, thank you for that. You say something that's very important. When we have stable homes, and so this is why it's important that as an administration that we invest in our communities, because when you have economic stability, it does create better environments, and that includes even home environments. So we'll go to you, same question. Breaking this cycle of violence, what are the needs, and more specifically, what do you need from adults? And say your name again for us.
Hi, my name is Genevieve. I feel like it does start at home because parents tend to encourage it sometimes when there's an issue with let's say there's fights going on. I feel like they always encourage yeah, go ahead, just fight them, but they don't talk to their child about it. I feel like communication is really important when it comes to violence.
Thank you for that. Y'all show her some love. Thank you. Okay, same question. Cycle of violence, how do we break it? What's your name again?
Hello, everybody. My name is Azucena. For me, I feel like there's resources out there and we need support systems as well. I know there's organizations here as well that do it for all of your communities, and I feel like other than like having that support, I feel like also youth need the support both at home and in school, and I feel like they just need someone to listen to them.
Y'all hear that? That's very powerful.
Very, very good answer. Now, our next question is something that is very involved in today's world. What role does social media play in resolving conflicts?
Journey, you want to start with that one? Because you just seem so thrilled. The way I saw your face light up. Social media.
Okay. Wait, Harper, please repeat that one more time.
Okay, I'll repeat the question one more time. What role does social media play in resolving conflicts? Not starting.
Honestly, it depends on what you see on your feed, and what you see on your feed is really what you like. Like mine, I always see motivational speeches from celebrities because that's all I like all the time, and some dancing too. So honestly, I think that it just depends on what side of social media you're on and that you're interested in that can impact you and the things that you do. If you get what I'm saying?
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Genevieve. Genevieve, right? Go ahead. The role of social media, it's a very good question, in resolving conflicts. Or does social media have a role in resolving conflicts?
It all depends, honestly, because it's what you like to see, what you want to see on social media, but most of the time it can be, it can show you good things like to help when it comes to anti-violence, but sometimes it encourages violence, social media, because it's everybody's opinions and people that have unresolved like anger that they have. So sometimes social media can be a resolve, but sometimes not.
Yeah, so repeat the question one more time.
Okay. I'll repeat the question one more time. What role does social media play in resolving conflicts?
I would say social media is really behind the screen type of action. So people really not getting that face to face is just not thrilling. So I would just say people just working out a conflict, not being face to face, just resolving a conflict just online rather than in person is better, because if people was in person or whatever and the argument start, they're not ready to listen, talk, think. It's just ready to be violence. That's how violence starts, by being in face to face. But I feel like online is just a better way to communicate. You have a better thinking, a better knowledge, and I feel like social media has a way to just have people have a better communication with being better people.
That's what's up. It's a good response. I don't know if I thought about it that way. Sometimes having a little bit of distance between the conflict could create a healthier environment to work through it. Because sometimes when you're in person, that energy in the room could be very provoking, or other folks could be encouraging it. All right, you want to try this last one as well? Yeah, please.
Okay, I agree with what he said. But I feel like with social media, it's kind of like a 50-50. It's like either you take the positive side of it or you take the negative side of it. Yeah, people could like connect and express their beliefs in whatever they feel, but also it's how he said, it's like, it's basically like on you. Basically it's on you. It's like whatever you decide to do, it's either good or bad. And it just, I just agree with what he said.
No, thank you for that. Y'all give her some love. Y'all are doing great. We just have a couple of more questions here, and we're gaining so much insight, but I just want to just quickly, some of the things that are the themes that are jumping out. One, making sure that our homes are stable, because stable homes create stable communities, right? I'm hearing that. but also making sure that there are resources so that young people have an outlet, which includes having a space where you can work through conflicts, or if you're dealing with trauma or any other pain, that there are services available. This summer, we are really excited about the number of young people that we've hired, you all. We've hired over 27,000 young people for summer jobs. And if there's ever a place to learn how to work through conflict, is having a job. Are y'all with me? We're some of the seasoned people in this room. Yeah, right? Because now you have to interact with people that you may not know. So let's stay with you on the other end, okay? My question is, how do you and your friends deal with conflict? And what do you think could help young people deal with conflict? So how do you address it with just your friends when you have a conflict or a challenge? How do you engage? And then how do we help other young people confront and deal with conflict?
Do you mean like in a public space or like?
That's a good question. So not necessarily in public. It could be something so I used to teach middle school. So I taught 7th and 8th graders. I did teach high school. I can walk into a classroom and I can feel the tension, right? Because if you know your students, you understand relationships. So sometimes I didn't always jump in to address the conflict, even though I knew something happened in the other room or the other period, but it doesn't really show up in my classroom, but you can feel the energy. So maybe the teachers are aware, maybe your parents are aware, but it hasn't reached the level where you need adult intervention just yet. So how do you engage in resolving conflict outside of support from a teacher, a pastor, an adult? Does that make sense?
I feel like me with my friends, it's like, well, we know each other. So it's basically like I could literally like talk to them and be like, hey, like I know like something's up. And like just have that communication with them. Cause it's like you feel that tension and you feel like, you know, something's not right. So it's just like knowing how to communicate with them and like expressing both your feelings and their feelings and like just make a solution out of it.
So let me push you a little bit and we'll come down to the rest. What about if one of your friends has a conflict that's outside of your friend circle? How do you help that person?
Like that other person or my friend with?
Your friend. Because you can't control the other person,
okay.
Right?
So me with my friends, I'm glad like I could be real with them and I could tell them, I'll be like, okay, so who's in the wrong? It's either you or that other person. And like they could tell me, okay, so this is what went down and this is what I think of it or this is what I did. But I'm like, okay, if she or whoever my friend is, I'm gonna be like, no, like, you know what, like you're in the wrong. You should go and apologize to that person because you were on the wrong. Like I would tell them straight up, I'll be like, no, like you messed up.
That's what's up, y'all. Give her some love there. Come on. All right, audience, do you all have friends who will tell you when you're wrong? Right, with a show of hands? Okay. All right, I got a whole city that tells me when I'm wrong, so, all right. Genevieve, so conflict, whether it's within your circle or outside of your circle, how do you deal with it? Or how do your friends deal with conflict, whether it's internal or external?
I feel like I usually talk to them about it because since I know them so well and they know me, we would like discuss the issue. Like if my friend had an issue with somebody else, I would talk to them about it, of course, because I feel like it shouldn't reach like to to something else that shouldn't be. If it's like a small issue, it should be solved because then it will grow to something bigger. So I feel like I would just talk to them.
I love it. That's powerful. So don't let it become extreme. Don't let it metastasize or grow bigger than what it really is. Journey, what about you?
Okay, so, depending on how big the situation is, it would be how I handle it. It'll always be peaceful, but if it's someone in my friend group, it's gonna be a calm conversation because no matter how small it is, I wanna know what's going on, no matter what. But I haven't had any of those situations yet, but I'm sure when I have it, it's gonna be really calm and cool. But outside of that, most of the time, if it's something little, I just let it go. But if it's something outrageous like bullying or something like that, I want to have a conversation with you. I want to know why exactly do you feel this way about me? And what am I doing to offend you? And where can we meet each other to have peace? Because that's all I want. We don't have to be friends, but I do think that we can work, like, be cool peeps.
You don't have to be my friend, but I want peace. I like that. It's a quote. All right, yes, sir.
What I would say is to make sure that you keep it in the circle. Don't let it get out, because once a conflict between you and a friend gets out, that's how the friendship ends, because most people like to take things, abuse things, turn your words to other ways. So just keeping it in between y'all and making sure that y'all make sure y'all okay, regardless at the end of the day, is the main goal. But to just de-escalate the situation, make sure that what are y'all arguing about? Is it that important? What are y'all arguing about? Make sure y'all have y'all priorities straight and always know that that's your friend. You know who you're talking to. You're supposed to just come calm, clear mind, and just always come with an understanding.
Wow, thank you. All right, to my co-host, you want to ask the next question? We just have a couple of more. Are these cycle breakers doing great or what, right? It's doing great.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So, this next question is a really big question. So, like how we started, we were saying that a lot of situations start with what goes on and what happens in the house. So, what can the city of Chicago do to create more safe and welcoming spaces for us young people? Anybody want to take that?
Yeah, Genevieve, let's start with you. Is that okay?
I feel like the city of Chicago can like help us with young people is more programs, more events like going on for them to keep them busy and out of the streets. Because like there's so many programs that I didn't know that were there until now. Like there's this program called After School Matters, and it's been for a long time, and I started to join it, and you get money and you learn how to dance, you learn how to cook. There's so many things that we can do to help us youth.
I love that answer. I mean, when we talk about hiring young people, One Summer Chicago and After School Matters, one of my goals as mayor is to extend these programs to be year-round. Because the more safe spaces that we have where young people can find their purpose, that's how we can collectively build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. That's what's up. Thank you. Y'all show her some love. Snap up for her. Well done. All right, let's go to your left. You want to answer that next?
Well, it's going back to what I had said. I feel like having those resources, having those support systems. I know there's millions of organizations here in Chicago. Not millions, right? But there's a lot. And I know that throughout the years, they've been growing. Like, I'm going to shout out Beyond the Bomb. I know that they've been going on for a bunch of years. And I know that there's other organizations as well. Like, they're growing with the time. And I feel like also with listening to what youth and all the community has to say, because I know that there's people who advocate for community safety, and there's a lot of these other people that want what's best for the community, but all their ideas just get brushed off under the rug. So it's they want to be heard. So I just feel like that's another resource that we need.
I love it. Being heard, absolutely. Okay, last two, just your response. Go back to Jeremiah? Jeremy?
Yeah, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, so the question was, what can the city do to create more safe and welcoming spaces for young people? I get the question right? That was right? What can the city do for more safe and welcoming spaces for young people?
Yeah, that was it. It's this organization called White Men in the North Lawndale area.
Y'all give it up for White Men in North Lawndale. Yes, yes. West side of Chicago is here.
And I just want to give a big thank you to Mike for real, because he just helped a lot of people and turned them into something that could be better. And I would say by having more of those companies like Y-Man in different areas and different neighborhoods where it's welcome to anybody, and Y-Man don't just take young men and women and just build them up. I've seen so many people that just went in there just crazy and then come out a whole different person, structure, just more.
Well, I need to send some members from the city council to Y-Man then. I mean, all right, it's a tough one. All right. Please. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Please continue. Don't mind me. I'm just the mayor of Chicago. Please continue.
And just by helping more people and more organizations like that and neighborhoods that need help and that need the help, that's what we need.
That's right. Okay, Journey, you can close this question out. And thank you, Jeremy. You know, this past summer, I believe Y-Men, in fact, were part of our last round of investments. I believe we offered up $600,000 additional dollars to organizations like Y-Men to do just that work. And you're right, the transformation that I've seen happen as a result of that organizations and other organizations like that have been remarkable. Journey?
Okay, so my answer was similar. So a thing I think can help us in a way is there have been new courts, basketball courts coming to our city, like the Inglewood Break Room, and I think that's pretty cool. That's a place where kids can just come and enjoy themselves, just play basketball, volleyball, whatever they like. And I just think more spaces like that, even some that's not just basketball courts, some that could be like, let's play music for the whole day and just let kids come. It don't have to be like rowdy music. It could just be peaceful, but something that kids can engage on. Can I say another thing?
Got it.
All right. And another thing is, so you know how like CTA, the transportation service, you can, like kids that go to high school, they pay less than the adults just so it can be affordable. I also think I'm not trying to push it too far, but it would be nice
Go for it. What you want?
Kids our age, asking for money from our parents sometimes get hard as you old. It's easy when you're young, but as you're a high schooler, all that don't work no more. And it's like a lot of us can get jobs because you're at like 14 to 15. There's nothing you can really do to get money. Somehow making prices a little bit different for us too. Not saying super low, but affordable. A lot of kids do a lot of destructive things because they have nothing to do. They can't afford it.
She's just looking at me like, what you gonna do, Mayor? No, I love.
Preach.
Wow. Give it up. Now listen, look, whether it's transportation, year-round jobs, and I mean this with all sincerity, we have a budget that is coming up for the next fiscal year, for the budget for year 2025. And I'm gonna need help in this room to help us pass a budget that speaks to what these young people are saying that we need to break the cycles of violence. And if transportation is a part of that to help break the cycle of violence, then we need alders to vote for a budget that allows me to appropriate dollars for transportation support to break the cycles of violence. I believe that's a worthwhile investment.
And before we move on,
This is the last question, isn't it?
yes.
You got
I believe
us?
so. Yeah, I also want to add another organization that I'm part of. It's not big, but it's not small. It's an organization called MEF. It's called the Monster Education Foundation that focuses on getting scholarships for young kids from 6th grade all the way to your senior year of high school. And you can also continue going on till college if you're good enough when they see all the potential that you have in you. And they're also a big program that I think should be getting in there with other organizations because what they're doing is honestly just amazing. That's all I want to say.
Wow, that's what's up. Shout that organization out one more time.
the Monster Education Foundation, aka MEF.
Yeah. So let's do this. One last question. We'll let everybody on the panel answer. We got time for one more? Just one more. Okay, give me the thumbs up. All right. This is off script. I want you to think about it. If you had a chance to speak directly to a young person that's struggling right now, they're hurting, they're in pain, and they want to express that pain violently, I want you to think, what would you say to that young person to compel them to think about it differently and to take a different course of action? There are young people that are you all's age that have been victims of violence. Unfortunately, there have been young people your age that have administered violence and caused harm in the community. If you had a chance to look a young person in the face that's in desperate need of real support, and they're hurting, and they want to take their hurt out on other people in a violent way, what would you say to them? Jeremy?
As somebody that's deal with anger issues myself, the first thing I would tell them is that they're not alone. There's many other people dealing with the same stuff, and it's realized that there's always somebody to talk to. There's not nobody to talk to. There's always people you could reach out to. There's people you could talk to, get your emotions out, but always know that violence is not the answer to everything. After the action, after the violence, what you'll feel is just an empty feeling, and it's not good, and people shouldn't be going through that, especially at a young age. So violence isn't the answer, and you're not alone. There's always somebody you could talk to and express your feelings to understand you, because some people just need to be understood.
Immaculate answer, can I just say myself?
All right. Journey?
All right. Oh. All right, so oh my gosh. Hit me up.
One thing you could say to a young person who is feeling the pressure, they're angry and they want to release their anger in a violent way, what do you say to that young person?
First, honestly, I won't say nothing at first. I'm just gonna listen, because I feel like that's what most people need. Someone to talk to and someone to listen to them. And the first thing, like, I just feel the first thing most people have when they're talking about this is someone being like, no, don't do that. But no, just listen. And being able to understand their reasons why, and that should give you the answer. Like, I will always tell, like, I use this all the time because my favorite artist is J. Cole. Love yours. It's like, no, there's no life better than yours. Even though people may go through some things that you'll be like, wow, I'm so happy my life is how it is. It's just, I think a lot of people have to understand and grasp that even though my life may seem worse than others, there's something I can do better to improve my lifestyle later. And just have that conversation with them, like, that's it. And also be able to listen. That's key, listen.
Wow, thank you.
I feel like as an emotional person myself, I feel like I would talk to them and hear what they gotta say and just guide them in the right direction by just being there for them, because I feel like violence is never okay. It's somebody's life right there. So I just feel like I would just be there for them.
Just be there for them. Thank you.
Okay. What I would say would be, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Violence is not the answer. I'll say that it's okay not to be okay. I know that I work with youth as well, so I know, like, they could be kind of like act out and everything, but I know that, that's what youth do as they grow up, and I feel like many of them don't have that, like, support or, like, comprehension, like, from home, so I feel like that's also, like, a struggle for them, and I feel like being there for them and, like, guiding them through the way is just the right way to go to. And I feel like just guiding them and like letting them know that they're not alone and that it's okay to feel all these ways and like to wanna like fight this, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, okay, that's like going to an extent, right? But it's like no, like don't just bottle it up like inside. It's okay to like have someone to listen to and like just let them know.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, you get the final word tonight. What would you say to a young person, and we're going to close out? Yeah, I'm going to give you the final word on this, number 58. Okay. You're going to have to wait 23 years, so just relax. But what advice? There's someone in your age group, maybe a little bit older, someone who just, the only way they believe they can resolve the issue is with violence. What do you say to them?
Something that came to my mind when you said that is a sentence. Life is short. When going through violence can really change a person's life. Does anybody remember the boy who fought for his mom at that hot dog stand that went viral and his entire reputation got ruined for killing a person for his mom? Does anybody remember that?
I do. I remember that.
Anybody remember that? Well, that was a very tough time because that boy was actually a straight-A student, and his entire reputation got ruined off of choosing violence. Now, that is your mom, but still, violence is not always the answer, and since his life was so short, he had to get his entire reputation taken away from him after being a straight-A student. So for all the kids out there, before you try to hurt somebody or use violence as an answer, think about all the great things in life and think about the after results before you do something. Think about the things that can come true, even though you don't want them to come true. That's all I have to say.
Hey, let's give it up for all of our young people. Don't you all feel good about the future of Chicago? Come on, y'all. These are the Psycho Breakers of Violence, the youth panel. Show them some love. Thank you all so much.
Woo. Round of applause for our panelists. Why don't you guys stay together right there so you can take some pictures, okay? Go ahead, right over there, Harper. Jeremy, stay on the stage. We're gonna take some pictures right there with you guys, okay? Once again, big round of applause for the Psycho Breakers on stage. Big round of applause for Mayor Johnson. And of course, a big round of applause for our moderator, Harper. We should have had the whole crowd say that. That's what we should have did. Oh man, we got
one more, whole crowd.
One more. So we can get a good shot. We want this video to go hard. All right, on the count of 3, everybody saying Psycho Breakers. 1, 2, 3. All right, don't forget, we still got some entertainment coming for you guys. A couple of dance groups that are going to be doing their thing over there. Harper killed it over there. Life is short.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's what's up.
Thank you very much.
All right, but I do want to bring somebody on stage, if I can get you guys' attention real quick, because as we talked about earlier, right, we talk about cycle breakers. We talk about what you can do to break a cycle, but then we have the question that remains, how?
Watch out.
All right, we have apps out there, the website, but we have someone that's going to come to the stage to give you guys a little bit more information. Of course, the Cycle Breakers Resource Hub is available for you. And how can we get more involved with Cycle Breakers? Well, I want to bring to the stage from the Community Safety Coordination Center, John Jones. Give it up for John Jones.
Woo!
Cool. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I know a lot of attention. Who doesn't want to take a picture with the mayor? So I'll be pretty brief because I know we're also finna get a little turnt with some dancing and some rapping I believe. So I'll be very quick. So as we all know today, we had a conversation about violence and the youth involvement in that and what the city can do. So that's great. We had a great conversation about how can we actually plug it in to what we're doing on a daily basis. So what I want everyone, if you're still listening, to pull out your phone and go to www.chicago.gov/cyclebreakers. I'm gonna see some phones in there. I'm gonna do it with you. So www.chicago.gov/cyclebreakers. If you pull it up, let me see your screen. I know we got like 2 minutes. That's all we need. So with that in mind, the reason why we're all here today, and the reason, I see you, brother, I appreciate that, Joe. The reason why we're all here today is to really not just have a fun time here at the Cultural Center, but to also make sure that you all are aware of the resources the city is providing you through our community partners as well. So if you go on the website, chicago.gov/cyclebreakers, you'll see 3 options: Youth for Highest Promise, Adults for Highest Promise, and then community leaders. If you click on that one, which resonates with you, you'll click on that link and then you'll find a multitude of resources that involve mentoring, community help, as well as community-based organizations and events they're doing, as well as things like, hey, our lights went out because of electricity. How can we get some support on that, or what's the response to that? This is the resource hub for you all to go to just to have a plug-in from this conversation. So I know that I'll be brief. I know everybody's moving. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass it off to Gabe. But from behalf of the City of Chicago, behalf of the Mayor's Office, and behalf of the Community Safety Coordination Center, thank you all for being here tonight. I know we're finna get lit. Everybody's going to go home. So I just want to thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you.